Hey everybody, welcome to Tea Time with Amy and Bev. What's up, girl?
Good day. I don't know. There's all kinds of things going on. As it seems like the world is in constant shifting. And the crazy thing too is, I could look at the time. I was just mentioning yesterday. It's strange to me that we could talk about an occurrence that happened yesterday, but it feels like it was a few days ago. It seems like that's how time is these days. And I know that you're in a totally different environment and stuff, so I imagine things are probably a lot different for you too. But there's just so much stuff that's going on, and all of it is leading me back within. Like, we've talked about a lot of this stuff, and it's like it's really for me to be like in total relationship with my higher self. For me, this is where I'm at right now. And I was having a conversation with my higher self yesterday, and I was getting like full body goosebumps. And it's like, okay, I mean, I know this is the route for me to go. This is for my benefit in all facets. And it's not just for my benefit, it's for everybody else's benefit as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to shift, and it's going to affect those around me, and it's going to affect my family, and it's going to affect, well, it totally affects me. But that, with all that being said, it has such an effect, an impact on the world.
It's funny you say that about the time we were in I'm in Texas. This is why my background's different on this video. Um, uh, my mom's in the hospital and she has a clock in her room, and she's been in this room for almost 2 weeks. As the recording of this, she is 2 days shy of 2 weeks being in this room. And just a few days ago, um, her there's somebody in the room with us, and they're looking at the clock, and they turn to me and they're like, "Watch the clock." And the second hand will stop and then advance like 5 to 10 seconds, and then it'll stop and go 5 to 10. It was just so bizarre. We're just like tripping on this clock, and it's still doing it now. I don't know if it was has been like that the entire time because neither one of us had noticed it, but um time has been very distorted for me going through this. It's I had said this before in another video. It's like it seems like it's going really slow but really fast at the same time. It's just weird. We'll be sitting there, it's 1 o'clock, next thing I know it's 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
But it didn't seem like time went by that fast, if that makes sense. It's not like I sit there and watch the clock all the time, but it's just like, where did the time go? Because it didn't feel like it was that long. So I'm just, yeah, time is just very interesting. And it's been like that the entire time I've been here. Doesn't seem like the days are long. I've been getting up, trying to get 6 to 7 hours of sleep based on the time zone, like all these factors. Get ready. I have to drive an hour and a half to get to where my mom is, where we stay until 10, sometimes 11 o'clock at night. Have to drive an hour and a half back. Energy is great the entire time. Even driving doesn't even seem like we're driving for an hour and a half. 200 miles a day that we're going, and it seems like nothing. My energy level is good the entire time. I could be sitting in a room and just be like, oh, I could just close my eyes right now. But we'll pack up, get in the vehicle. I've been the driver every day for most of the days. Um, and I have all the energy I need to make that drive at 11 o'clock at night. And boy, when I hit the bed, though, I am out. So it's just been very interesting process.
Nice. And then we were talking a little bit before we got started the meeting, just maintaining your own energy with everything, because it's so easy for a lot of people to lose focus on themselves and totally devote all the focus onto someone else. And that's where we actually do a disservice to ourselves and others, because then we're trying to nurture someone or feed someone with love from an empty cup, or not an overflowing cup. And so you've been managing that as well. So that's pretty awesome.
It's so many lessons. We could do so many videos just off this experience. As you talk about that, one of the things I started recently is an interesting thought process. You know, we go through school and they grade us on our work A, B, C, D, F, right? A minus, A plus. Like you're somewhere in this scale of how you're doing with your schoolwork. So I started doing that with just me in general. Um, and I was thinking about actually this morning, if I were to give myself a grade on how well I've been taking care of myself, C plus, B minus. Reason, I've been inside so much. I've not spent much time outside to get, that breath of fresh air or move my body. So in that aspect, not so good. But in the aspect of making sure I'm hydrated, I'm eating, I've been eating fairly well, things like that. B plus, somewhere in there. Attitude. Out of the entire time I've been here, I had one day for about 2 hours where my stress lid popped. So as far as attitude goes, A minus overall. Like, so when I think about those things, it's like, okay, well, if I think about grading myself in those ways, the next step is how do I improve? And I'm always going to have opportunities. So when the next experience comes where it's kind of a stressful time, maybe I'm at an A instead of an A minus. Right. And then always the goal is to get an A plus. So I don't know. I just started thinking about that about 2 weeks ago, I think, of wow, if I were to grade myself, what kind of grades would I give? What would I assign to me? And it's really been a helpful process in another way of scaling my personal development. So
And it's nice because you're taking inventory about how you're responding and how you're traveling through the day. It brings you into more of an awareness. I feel like you're
yeah,
you're
because
more focused on the now.
when you think about your day, like for me, example in this whole thing, like just talking to the doctors and the nurses, how am I interacting with them? What are my thought processes about them? How am I feeling around them? How am I feeling about what they're saying? Like there's so many components just in interacting with one person. And we have multiple people coming in and out of a room, a hospital room, and the different tasks that they're doing and the different information that they're giving. Okay, well, how am I doing in retaining that information? I mean, I have been on my game with that. I've even surprised myself because, a lot of time I don't even know what I did 2 hours ago. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm just going through the motions, doing it and moving on. But, you know, having these conversations, I have been on my A game. And then there's, again, taking care of myself. How am I doing within myself? How am I doing with my spirituality? How am I doing with my self talk? How am I doing about staying in alignment with what my facts are right now instead of going down a worry road? So it's just so many components when you're looking at any given situation.
And so you're being in the now all the time.
Even
You
driving,
really are.
when I'm driving, I'm just like looking around and it's a great, when you're on the road for an hour and a half or 3 hours a day, it gives you a lot of time to think about what you want. And that's been it. It's like, okay, my mom is an hour and a half away. The rehab facility that would provide the care that she needs is 45 minutes away. So I'm focusing on she's there. They've already paperwork's done, transportation's done. She's already like so much time just to focus on what I want to happen. And that's been actually these past 2 weeks has been the easiest thing for me to do ever, is focusing on what I want to see happen. And overachiever in that one. A plus 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 overachiever. It's been great.
Well, master creator, right? So you've been in this school this whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So the grading makes sense. It makes sense to grade yourself because you're in the school right now of all this learning and you're doing it. And you're doing it. It's awesome. It's so amazing because you're doing it with awareness.
And I'm doing it at, like you said earlier, I'm doing it outside of my comfort zone because I'm around people I'm not around. I'm in a
Yeah.
completely different state in our country for the past 2 weeks with people I hardly ever talk to and their
Yeah,
family members, right?
that's it.
And uh, so having that ability to bring me and my package into other people's spaces and still maintain me and not get
Yeah.
caught up in them. So, so many lessons have been learned. So many. It's been great.
I think that's the trend these days, though. I feel like a lot of people are going to understand this because they're going through a lot of things as well, and it is a growth. It's not a growth if we're in a victim mentality or a victim state of it, because then it doesn't feel like a growth. It feels like a growth, all right, but it doesn't feel like growth. You don't feel like you're evolving, but the whole time you are. As soon as you learn how to surrender, and that's what you've done, being around people that you don't know how to navigate around, because we can learn how to navigate around others. We know what's going to trip their triggers, what's not going to trip their triggers, and we kind of modify in a lot of ways ourselves. And so being able to maintain self, and if you're always doing everything or speaking from a loving space, that makes all the difference in the world too. It doesn't matter how you're showing up, really. As long as you're showing up from that space of love, it's always going to be the right thing that needed to be said, and not the right thing that needed to be felt or created.
And another part of that, loving yourself, is asking for what you want, even verbally. So
Oh, yes.
even for this today, to be able to sit here and record this podcast, I had to ask because I'm staying with my aunt, and I had to ask her. I'm like, um, she leaves in the morning to go do some things, and I said, "When will you be back?" I said, "I have here we're an hour ahead, so I was like, at this time I have a podcast to do to record, and I just kind of need an idea of where I could set up to do that." And she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go do my things. I'll just make sure I don't come back till after 12 our time." And and I said, "Okay, well, there's another area in the house where I could go set up, and I'm okay with." "No," she says, "the lighting's great in here. You just sit up in here and I'll just go do my things and I'll come back later." I said, "Okay." So in again, as we each time we do a recording, I typically am comparing myself to what would have done before. And I would have been a basket case just thinking about having to do this recording.
Okay.
I would have been like, I don't know what to do. Not like in the past few years, but my old self, I would have felt like I was being a burden to other people because I'm taking up their space. They have to leave their home so I can do my thing. It's just all these components. And it's like, well, I'm out of my element. When I'm at home, I know my space where I can do this. I'm out of my element. So I have to ask for what I need, what I want, or find a way to pivot and be flexible and work around each other. And when my natural state of being is being an introvert, and for us to communicate what we want, it takes a lot of practice. So I've been practicing this for a very, 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 very long time. And to be able to be where I'm at right now, to say, here's what I have to do. What's the best way to do it? How can, I accommodate you in your home and you accommodate me? Like, how can we work through this? And everything's been working well. So she said,
And all
we hardly see each other. I've been here for 2 weeks and we hardly ever see each other. And she goes, "It's like having a roommate I don't ever see." And I said, "Okay, well, something's working." So
It's amazing because it's learning communication, right? And it's learning not to put yourself last. It's learning to, and it's also teaching. It's not even just all the learning stuff, it's the teaching stuff for those around you,
Yeah,
teaching them how to communicate more and from a loving space, from a neutral space.
right. So, like I said earlier, there's just so many things have come out of this experience. And that's one of the things I just have kept saying to God and the angels and the universe. I'm like, okay, whatever, I am open to learn whatever it is I'm supposed to learn from this experience. And I know it's not just for me, it's for my mom, it's for the other people involved, it's for the doctors and nurses. It's like all of us matter. Everybody involved matters. And we are all supposed to get something out of this experience. Um, like the nurses, there's just all the nurses that have taken care of my mom. They're just like, she is such a delight. We just love coming in her room and interacting with her. She's so nice and sweet. And of course I chime in. I'm like, why are you nice to them and not me? Type of thing. They're constantly laughing. We're laughing all the time, even because my mom during her shadow surgery procedure, and through that she had a minor stroke, so she's had to learn to talk and eat and use her right hand arm, um, and she's very cognitive, she understands everything, she just is struggling, she can't, her mouth and her brain aren't at the same speed, like the thoughts are there and they're coming fast, but she can't. Yeah, right. I am like, I do that sometimes too. I'm just, um, so anyway, she can't articulate her words with the thoughts that she's having. And so she'll just ramble out some gibberish and we all just start laughing, even her. We're not, coddling to it. Oh, poor you. She's not depressed about it. We just start laughing about it and tell her, you know what, mom, let me have some shots of tequila and I'll be able to understand you better. Just really keeping it lighthearted and fun and interesting. So, that's the experience with the nurses because they have other patients. They're just like, this patient down the hall, I don't know, right? But they don't tell us details, but they're just like, we love coming into your mom's room.
Because
So,
it shifts their energy, right? So isn't that
yeah,
so interesting? And then the time frame that all this is happening is not by an accident. It's not. Even the person that's down the hall is receiving this energy in some way, shape, or form. They might get a little bit grumpy if they hear the laughter down the
right.
hallway, but it's all that is letting them know is there's the trigger because that their little child wants to be a participant in that as well.
Yeah.
And then doesn't know how to have, how to ask, doesn't know how to communicate, and doesn't know how to have healthy boundaries and all
Yeah.
these amazing things.
Yep. So just all in all, it's been a great experience. I know it's happening for a reason. I'm here for it. And just rolling with it. So I think one of the,
I love
of
it.
course, as with any experience, one of the biggest experiences is uh, taking care of me, maintaining my mental, emotional, physical, spiritual states in a way that I can. And then also recognizing, as I said earlier, where could I have improved or where can I improve? And so, yeah,
Love it.
so deep breath and staying real, a big piece of it too is remembering to breathe and stay relaxed
Yeah.
because the other people, I'm not kidding one bit, since I have been here I have slept every single night. A lot of times in situations I wouldn't, years ago I wouldn't have slept. I'd be exhausted. There's no way I'd be able to drive 200 miles every single day. I've been driving 200 miles every single day for 2 weeks. So almost 3,000 miles that I've put on just driving every day. So, um, if I would be in that worry state or frustrated state, like angry, any other state than being able to be relaxed, focusing on what is, focusing on what I want, like doing those steps, I would be a basket case. I would be exhausted. There's no way I would be able to clearly be thinking and be able to retain the information that the doctors and nurses are telling us. And the other people around me have been in a worry state. They have lost sleep. They can feel the stress in their body. When you carry stress for a long time and then finally you take that breath and exhale, and it just all like days of stress that you're hanging on to, and then you finally exhale, and then they start feeling the aches and pains. That's what they're all going through. On me, I'm like, good. So just keep doing what I'm doing, and I can do better. And I know that.
Nice. And you're the metronome for everybody else. The
Too.
more that you come into those spaces, so then everybody else can start vibrating at your frequency.
Yeah.
Why? Because it feels better.
That's right. Like, I don't have time for your BS. And it could be, I don't have time for your bullshit, and I don't have time for your belief systems, because
Exactly.
the way you think and the way I think are on opposite ends of the spectrum.
And that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay. So I love them where they're at. They don't understand where I'm at, and it's okay.
But then they can only love from where they're at,
Right.
right? So, and it's like when you love yourself, it doesn't matter where someone else is loving you from, because you love yourself.
Yep. Yep. So these conversations, people are seeking, and as the audience, share whatever it is you're learning, whether it's from us or other podcasters, spiritual teachers, books, influencers, whatever is working for you, resonating with you, share that information. There's more people on the planet that want to know, have the questions, seeking the guidance. So whether you're sharing our content or other people's, please do so. You can find us on many platforms. We're on Facebook, iHeart Radio, Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, YouTube, Spreaker, Spotify, TikTok. I'm like trying to think of them all from memory. And Facebook. Did I say Facebook? Anyway, we're readily available. And if at any time you have any questions or comments about some of our content, then please leave them in the comment box and we will come back to them as soon as we can. We have lives too. We are busy people, and we're doing our best as we navigate life just like everybody else. So the ease and grace in and patience. Do you have any final words?
Just reminding people to be in the now, and we can do that in so many different ways. One of the ways I love to do is when you're washing dishes and you're just watching the water come out and watching it hit things, watching how your hands move, just being in the now. That brings you right present to now, and that means you're not in anxiety and you're not in fear or depression. So simple fix to pull you out of stuff.
Absolutely. All right, friends, thanks for hanging out with us. Tea Time with Amy and Bev. We'll see you next time.
Bye.